Hi everyone. In this lecture, we will be discussing about learning associations, classification, regression, and supervised learning and reinforcement learning. Let us move to the first topic, learning associations. What are associations? Associations are nothing but relationship between different variables in a huge database. Association rule learning, otherwise known as association rule mining, it is a machine learning method as well as data mining method, and it is mainly used for finding interesting relations among different variables in large databases. And these interesting relations are also known as association rules. In order to find the association rules, we need to consider some measures of interestingness. So how these interestingness are measured, that we will learn later. Mainly we will use certain parameters like support, confidence, lift, etc. You might have studied association rules in data mining, so you might be familiar with these terms. Otherwise we will be coming in detail about these parameters later in the other modules. Okay. So what is association rule mining or association rule learning? It's a machine learning method by which interesting associations or interesting relations that are known as association rules, they are discovered using some measures of interestingness. And the main application of association rule mining is in market basket analysis. So here an example is given, that is probability of chips given juice, that is equal to 0.7. So what does this mean? This means that 70% of customers who buy juice will also buy chips. So by learning these sorts of associations, the shopkeepers can promote their sales. That is, they can predict the buying behavior of customers and thus they can promote their sales. That is the main application of learning association. So consider an association rule of the form x given y. So what do you mean by x given y? That is, if people buy x, then they are also likely to buy y. Suppose there is a customer who buys x and does not buy y, then that customer is a potential y customer. So once we find such customers, we can target them for cross-selling. A knowledge of such rules can be used for promotional pricing or product placements. That is the advantage of using association rules. There are several algorithms for generating association rules, and some of the popular algorithms used for association rule mining are a priori algorithm, ECLAT algorithm, FP growth algorithm, and there are also modified versions of these algorithms like a priori TID, then DHP, that is dynamic hashing and pruning algorithm, then recursive elimination algorithm. The short form of recursive elimination algorithm is RELIM algorithm. Then a priori close. All these are examples for association rule mining algorithms, but the most commonly used algorithms are a priori and FP growth algorithms. Next we will move to the topic classification. So what is classification? It's a problem of identifying to which of a set of categories a new observation belongs. This on the basis of a training set of data containing some observations or instances. So these instances or examples are known as training examples, and their category or class membership may be already known. So by learning the features of this training set, it would be able to predict the class level of a new instance. That is known as classification. And it classifies data based on the training set and the values in a classifying attribute and uses it in classifying new data. So that is known as classification problem. After training with the past data, a classification rule is learned. So once we have a rule that fits the past data, if the future is similar to the past, then we can make correct predictions for a new instance. Classification is learning an association from X to Y, where X are the attributes and Y is the class. Now we will see an example for classification, that is credit scoring function. There are two classes, that is low risk class and high risk class. Low risk class is denoted using 0 and high risk class is denoted using 1. Given the income and savings of the customers, we need to categorize the customer into low risk class or high risk class. So for classifying the customers into a particular class, we need the values of features or attributes. Features are also known as attributes. Here the attributes are income and savings. Based on the value of income and savings, a customer can be categorized either into high risk class or low risk class. So by using a classifier, we can develop a rule or a function that is known as discriminant. The discriminant suggests that if income is greater than theta 1 and savings greater than theta 2, then the customer belongs to low risk category, else belong to high risk category. So that is the discriminant. It is a function that separates the examples of different classes. In the graph we can see that there are two classes, and the instances or examples of high risk classes are denoted using red circles and low risk classes are denoted using blue circles. So classifier will segregate or separate the different examples into different classes. Here is another example. Here details of faculty members in a particular institution is given. Their name, their rank, the years of experience and whether they are tenured or not, that is given, and this forms the training data. So by learning the features or attributes from the training data, classification algorithms will develop a classifier or a model, and the model will suggest rules like if rank is equal to professor or years greater than 6, then tenured is equal to yes. So we can predict whether a faculty member is tenured or not by using the rules developed by the classifier. And we can classify the data into two types, that is training data and testing data. Training data is the data that is given as input to the classifier for learning the features and for developing model or rules out of the learned data. And once the rules are learned, testing data is used to measure the performance of the developed classifier. And when a new data or unseen data is given to the classifier, classifier will be able to predict whether the data belongs to a particular category or not. So here in this example, Jeff, professor and number of experience is equal to 4. That is given as a new input. That is not there in the training data or testing data. So it is a new input, and as the classifier learned certain rules, when this input is given, he will be classified into tenured category. There are several machine learning algorithms used for classification, and some of the well-known algorithms are logistic regression, naive Bayes algorithm, KNN algorithm, decision tree algorithm, support vector machine algorithm, and random forest algorithm. Some of the applications of classification are in face recognition, character recognition, speech recognition, gesture recognition, medical diagnosis, and brainwave understanding. Next topic is regression. In machine learning, a regression problem is the problem of predicting the value of a numeric variable based on observed values of the variable. The value of the output variable may be a number such as integer or floating point. and these are often quantities like amount, size, etc. And these input variables are discrete or they may be real valued. Regression is used to predict a new value. For example, if you want to predict the price of a used car, in order to predict the price, you have to give as input the attributes of the car. Example, 4 car attributes are number of kilometers travelled or make and model, then color of the car, anything can be the attribute. So based upon the attributes, the model will find out the price of the used car. So we need to collect the training data and a machine learning program will fits a function to this data in order to learn y as a function of x. The main application of the classification rules is prediction. Once the rule fits the past data, if the future is similar to the past, then we can make correct predictions on novel instances. Both regression and classification are supervised learning problems, where there is an input x, output y, and the task is to learn the mapping from input to output. But in the case of regression, the output y is a number, whereas in the case of classification, output y is a class code. That is the main difference between regression and classification. Both are supervised method of learning. In supervised mode of learning, we need to provide training examples as well as their class labels. So the function is to find a mapping between the input and the output. In case of regression, a number is generated as the output value, whereas in the case of classification, a class label will be generated. Next is unsupervised method of learning. In unsupervised learning method, training data samples will be given, but the class labels of the data samples will not be given. Whereas in supervised method of learning, training data samples as well as their class labels are given. So in unsupervised learning mode, the algorithm will draw inferences from data sets consisting of input data without labeled responses. Clustering is an example for unsupervised learning method. In clustering, similar instances are grouped in one cluster. So by finding the regularities in input, the class label is derived in unsupervised learning. Other applications of unsupervised learning are text summarization, association analysis, customer segmentation, then color quantization in image compression, document clustering, learning motifs in bioinformatics. All these are examples for unsupervised learning. In all these cases, we are not giving the class labels. Instead, the training datasets will be given, and from the features of the training dataset, class labels will be derived. Next is reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is the problem of getting an agent to act in the world so as to maximize its rewards. Agent acting in an environment figure out what actions it must take in order to achieve maximum rewards. So a learner or the program is not told what actions to take as in most forms of machine learning, but instead it must discover which actions yield most reward by trying them. In the most interesting and challenging cases, actions may affect not only the immediate reward but also the next situations, and through that all the subsequent rewards. I will give you an example for reinforcement learning. Consider teaching a dog a new trick. We cannot tell it what to do, but we can reward or punish it if it is doing the right or wrong thing. If it is doing the right thing, we will reward it otherwise we will punish it. So it has to find out what it should do in order to get the reward, otherwise it will get the punishment. And we can use a similar method to train computers to do many tasks such as playing chess, scheduling jobs, and controlling robot limbs. Reinforcement learning is different from supervised learning. In supervised learning, from examples, the learner will learn something with the help of a knowledgeable expert. But in the case of reinforcement learning, we are giving rewards and punishment. If the right thing is done, then reward will be given, and if wrong thing is done, then punishment will be given. So depending upon rewards and penalties, reinforcement learning will progress. With this, we have come to the end of the session. In this session, we have covered the topics learning associations, classification, regression, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. We have seen what are associations. What are associations? Associations are nothing but the relationship between different variables in a huge database. And the interesting relationship among different variables is known as association rules. Based upon certain measures of interestingness, association rules can be generated from huge dataset. Several algorithms exist for association rule mining. They are a priori algorithm, FP growth algorithm, eclat algorithm, etc. The next one is classification. In classification, the learner will be given a set of positive and negative examples, as well as the class labels of each class will also be given. So the learner will get trained with the data set by learning the features or attributes of the data set, and when a new instance is given, it will correctly classify the input or the instance into positive or negative. And regression is also similar to classification. The only difference between classification and regression is that in case of regression, the output value is a numeric one, whereas in classification, the output is a label, class label. Next is unsupervised learning. In unsupervised learning, training dataset will be given, but the class labels will not be given. So the learner will have to generate the class label. An example is class string. In class string, similar instances will be grouped into a single cluster based on their attribute values or features. Attributes are also known as features. So in classification, regression, and in unsupervised method of learning, we need the attribute values or feature values of the data set. And the last one is the reinforcement learning. It is based on reward system. That is, a learner will be prompted to do a certain action when, and based on the action, whether it is good or bad, it will be rewarded or given a penalty. So that is all about reinforcement learning. Okay. So by this, I'm concluding the session. Thank you.